Hello, everyone, and welcome to Got Thrones, a Game of Thrones podcast. I am your host, Alexandra August, and with me, as ever, is my illustrious co-host, Johnny Kolazinski.
Hey, folks.
We are here for our very first deep dive full episode of House of the Dragon Season 3, Salt and Sea, Fire and Blood. It is the season premiere. Woo! Johnny, where can these fine folks find us?
If you're looking for the podcast, you've found it already, and it is wherever you are finding your podcast. You can also find us on Instagram at Instabro, on Instathrones at Got Thrones, on TikTok at Got_Thrones, and on YouTube at Got Thrones Podcast.
Recently, we've been doing, if you've been listening with us, we've been doing a crash course in House of the Dragons seasons 1 and 2, partially for you guys so you can bone up without having to watch it, partially for us because we wanted to podcast about it this season and neither one of us had really engaged with the show that much. We came off that, I think I speak for both of us, we came off that rewatch feeling a much deeper admiration for this series and kind of what it managed to accomplish creatively in a pretty finite amount of time with material that was not necessarily written special for TV series adaptation. So hats off. It is, we also would have to say, an emotionally taxing series and continues to do so in this.
I might need to move my therapy from Fridays to Mondays.
I recently rewatched the series finale of The Boys and then the series finale of Euphoria back to back. And I was like, we don't need to do that. Why did you do that to yourself, Alexandra? Make better choices.
True facts, we had to push off recording our episode like 3 days for Alex's recovery.
This is true. I will share receipts. Oh my gosh. But anyway, so we'll be doing 2 episodes a week for these bad boys for the next 8 weeks. You can tune into us on Sunday. We were trying to do some sort of live, like a TikTok or an Instagram, but we don't have any followers. We don't have enough followers on either platform to carry that off. So if you're looking for a reason to follow us on TikTok and or Instagram, now would be the time because we would like to
absolutely
do some hot takes. One of our good friends of the pod, Dr. Greg Winter, guested and gave us a little bit of medsteros by chatting about what kind of care you actually need after a 3rd-degree burn covering or 2nd-degree burn covering a lot of your body. And then also what happens when there are corpses around and does plague, in fact, erupt if people aren't buried in the mud. Anyway, so that'll be on Sundays in some kind of format. And then later in the week, we will have our longer episodic explorations like you're getting right now.
Yeah. So let's hop right into it with, how did you feel about the episode overall?
I was riveted. Absolutely riveted. It really was a phenomenal episode of television. You really can feel that it was supposed to be an episode 9 or that it kind of wanted to be an episode 9. It's fine. It's still wonderful. It's still great television to see. I would imagine a lot of the Game of Thrones community has been, Game of Thrones House of Dragon community, I would imagine a lot of us have been, if not rewatching the series, definitely hitting up some YouTube recaps. So I have to believe the stakes probably carried over. And it really was just absolutely a spectacular. What I'm saying is spectacular is I was riveted and locked in pretty much from moment 1. And this was a story that spanned this was an episode that spanned a lot of different types of, a lot of different people, a lot of different places, and a lot of different types of moves. Some were like extremely material and physical, like they physical battle. And some were Alicent redefining her relationship with her son.
Yeah. I don't think that she redefined anything. I think that he had his own definition and she learned it.
You're correct. How about you?
I absolutely agree. I think that when we were talking about a little bit about this in our pre-gaming this recording, I think that for me personally, spoilers all, by the way, Jace's death would have had a lot more weight if this had been an episode 9 instead of an episode 1, because we just came off of rewatching everything, but from what I was seeing online, there was a lot of not really connecting with the character in the same way I feel like people were doing when season 2 was airing live. Yeah, I'm not the way I was with Game of Thrones. I'm not the book scholar that I was there. But Jace is a very different character in the books, but I think that the conversations online were leaning into him being a little bit more petulant than he actually has been portrayed, or at least a little bit more dumb kid than he's actually been portrayed because of the fact that Jace did everything wrong this episode.
Yeah, like I could see it makes sense to me in terms of what I know of George's writing and what I've experienced. He feels like Jace feels like a character that would have been a little bit more two-dimensional and like Cersei is in the books, or at least in the
Mm-hmm.
earlier books. And I think one of the ways this series has excelled in many ways is breathing unique life into and unique dimensionality into characters that are phenomenal as written. Like it's really George
Mm-hmm.
is really good at crafting a villain, and the important part is that
Yeah.
they're merely black in this way. And the show does the show is not a book, and so one of the ways I think that it makes sure that it's serving its own medium, as it has repeatedly done on this show, is make every character very difficult to place into a binary. And Jace is such a Jace is so correct a lot of the time, and Jace's birth is more or less the result of a lot of naivete on Rhaenyra's part, and granted in kind of an impossible situation, but he calls her out, I believe, in episode 6 or 7 of last season, and says, did it not occur to you that me having brown hair might complicate things down the line? He talks about this when she elevates the small folk in
Yeah.
the Red Sewing. And he says, and he's so observant, and you see that the goodness bred into him when he's at dinner with his cousins, and he's not a dick, and he's not a piece of shit. But then I saw someone compare him to Baelor, or some kind of AI meme account. I don't know if it was actually somebody, but somebody compared it, like both would have been great kings, both would have been done before their time. And I'm like, I don't know that Jace would have been a great king. And I think that we saw a little bit of, I think they might have pulled from the book a little bit when they show Jace at the very last minute, like when he's locked his mother in a tower. He's just as susceptible to this kind of power and this wheel that breaks everybody as she was, or as everybody else is.
Yeah. What did you think? I know we want to get into our recap, but I'll ask this after the recap, but got some very specific questions.
So yeah, folks, basically the structure of these is we're going to give you our kind of overall reactions and thoughts, and then walk through a recap of the series, and then just talking about all of our feelings and chatting about each, dissecting the episode as we are wont to do. So yeah, Shani, where are we starting off?
We will start back near the Eyrie in the Vale with Rhaena finding that dragon and somewhat taming Sheepstealer, eventually bonding with him.
Chief Stealer has an impressive underbite. I liked that they made sure that we saw that. This was.
Sheepstealer, this up until halfway through the episode, Sheepstealer was my MVP. He pelicaned those sheep and brought dinner on their first date, like a little picnic. That was great.
Yeah, I think. This definitely felt like a meeting of equals. And it was good that she managed to form a relationship with Sheepstealer. I was personally just very happy that Rhaena was no longer wandering through the Vale, which she had been doing for 2 episodes, 2.5 maybe.
For the last 3 years of our
It's
lives.
been a while. Poor Rhaena. Oh.
Meanwhile, we see Aegon and Larys have successfully escaped King's Landing, only to be captured by guards loyal to Team Black.
This just felt like poor planning. Sorry, go on.
Larys immediately reveals their identities and says, "Oh, instead of killing us, you probably want to keep us alive." You say this felt like poor planning in the route choice?
Kind of. It didn't feel like Larys had stressed to Aegon the importance of concealing their identities, and obviously if they encounter guards of the enemies, not making it super obvious that they are in opposition to them. And I don't know that
Yeah.
Laris A realized that would be something that Aegon needed to be told, and B did not realize that they also maybe should have discussed, okay, should this happen? Should our identities get forged out? This is last ditch, like the red button that we push is that you are worth money.
Yeah.
Um,
For being the master of whispers, he did not A, know where his enemy was, and B, come up with good subterfuge.
nope. Carrying that crown with him,
Yes.
which
That, it's not like you could FedEx it and have it there when he showed up, though.
I guess, yeah, it's not like people are gonna. I don't know. Surely there's a secret place you can put it in the castle. That's gonna take Aemond a while to find. I don't know. That seems. It was just in a sack.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was also very big.
It was also very big. Aegon kind of has a big head, though.
That's true. That's true.
Now I want to know what the resizing process is for crowns.
That's the thing. It's like I
It's
don't know that
something they have to do quickly.
I bet you. I wonder. Okay, royal for real life crowns. Someone write in and tell us this, by the way. gothronespodcast@gmail.com. How do they resize crowns? Because obviously
Right.
Queen Elizabeth and her dad probably didn't have the same size head, especially like when he passed and she was crowned. But I bet you, and it's not. I don't know that they can solder the metal, but maybe they could put something
Yeah.
inside it. Maybe they put more padding.
Yeah. All the Habsburgs had the same size head, but that's because all the Habsburgs had the same grandpa for 6 generations. Yeah. By the way, sheep stealer, canonically a Habsburg.
You can tell because of the underbite. That's something I remember learning about. I was reading a Catherine de Medici book, and it was the book that the Stars series is based on, The Serpent Queen, I think. And it talks about how she is, part of an Italian kind of papal family, and I believe her father was illegitimate or something came around like that. But then also I was looking at the Habsburgs. I watched a Habsburg documentary, and it was talking about how Spain 1000% chose to inbreed, whereas as opposed to in order to keep their power, and then Austria-Hungary chose to merit, like just make deals through marriage, and Italians were just like, fuck it, we need new blood, let's make bastards. And I appreciated that. They were like, we're not going to inbreed, that's disgusting, let's just legitimize these peasant superheroes. I like that.
I like that too. I also am so happy for this unintentional transition, which is the next scene we're discussing, where Alicent finds Aemond on the Iron Throne, who claims that Aegon has abdicated. She urges him to seize Harrenhal. Alicent forges a letter from Aemond, sending it to Ormond Hightower to delay the Hightower army. And then they kiss.
This is like poor Alicent. I've looked ahead in the books, and Alicent survives. Like, this Alicent, we can say safely, does not die, but it's questionable what state she is in once all of this passes, because you kind of just stop hearing about her for, I'll give reasons. And it was so funny to me and felt so tragic that she goes and she makes this deal with Rhaenyra, and she just says, yes, I will give up my son to save my daughter. He's a mess. This was a terrible idea. Big mistake. I'm going to go process this, but you can kill my son, only to come back and find out that he's bounced. And the other son that was supposed to be gone with the big dragon is hanging out because why leave? And so now she's got to convince him to leave, which unintentionally turns into seducing him. And I think that I think she's going to do it. I think she's going to go all the way. I think it's going to be like her deep tragedy. I'm calling it right now.
I apparently did not give it enough thought. I was just busy texting that one screenshot of her face.
She has the best expressions. I have a screenshot from Alicent from last season when the council meeting, when Aemon removes her from power, and her eyes are half open. It's terrible. Poor Alicent.
That is going to be what this episode is remembered for, not the death of Jace, not Corlys stepping up
and driving that boat. Look at Corlys feeling like a man in control.
Look at Corlys showing us why Rhaena went for him all those years ago.
Rhaenys.
Too many R names.
It's a lot of too many.
That's later, because I can do an episode just on that scene. But yeah, we are going to only be discussing, at least on the internet, that first kiss.
That was, yeah, poor Harry Collett, because everybody was like, Jace who? That sucks. Shouldn't have taken that dragon into traffic. I don't know, it's the sheep stealer's fault. But everybody was way more like, whoa. Duh.
First kiss went a little like this. And
It's okay.
twist.
But I want to talk about who's going to have feelings about this, because not everybody's going to have the same feelings about this. I don't know. How do you think Helena is going to react to this?
It's normal to marry your brother, but you guys made it weird.
He's not after me anymore. I feel like Helena would be pragmatic about it. I think
Yeah,
Damon would be into this. I think Damon would have been like, yes,
that was an
yes,
option.
that's what you should have. That's what you do. You guys do that.
We know
And
he
then
still dreams about mom.
he does. He does.
And it was, no, that was actually kind of creepy too.
Yeah.
That was a little bit flirtatious.
That's the
I
thing.
didn't put
like,
those two scenes together, even though we watched them 2 weeks ago.
That was something that I was curious, because I was thinking about this and I'm like, haha, I feel like Raina's side of the family again would be like, all right, or Rhaenyra's side of the family would be like, all
Yeah.
right, I could do whatever heart wants, what it wants. But there's not been a lot of maternal, paternal incest in the Targaryen culture. I don't know that it's parent to child so much as it's brother to sister,
Yeah.
but I haven't looked that up at all. So tell
Yeah.
me if I'm wrong.
Hey, Craster, secret Targaryen.
Oh, God, that's right.
He's
That's
going to be the third
right.
head of the dragon.
Speaking of things that smell bad, we meet Ormond, who I gotta tell you, like, I have been naysaying this motherfucker because my heart belongs to Gwaine, and Gwaine, like, we got like more of Gwaine and Kristen's, like, trying to, like, one of them trying to do something and Kristen just being like, it's all gonna end. I'm Captain Nihilism now. Why don't you just, I'm gonna shine my sword, bud. Take a seat.
Yeah.
And Gwaine just is completely defenseless against this.
Kristen went from like My Chemical Romance, Coheed and Cambria emo, to I just discovered Morrissey and it's my entire personality.
I was thinking he's two steps away from Jared Leto cult status. He's gonna leave the army and he's gonna move to the Isle of Faces and whatever happens.
Euron Greyjoy, Euron, when he went to Essos and Valyria, it was to track down the eyeliner that Kristen Cole used.
They don't say Kristen Cole for nothing. I feel like Euron
but yeah,
Greyjoy would like.
Ormond. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. We need to talk about Euron Greyjoy's karaoke song and why it's the immigrant song, but that can be later. Ormond. Yeah, so I was, definitely protect Gwaine at all costs. And this is just too many white guys who look similar for there to be enough space. But Ormond had me at fucking hello. We don't meet a lot of prissy bitches in Westeros, period. And this man is a very powerful, very prissy leader. And I'm here for it.
All I'm saying is I've never seen Ormond Hightower and Prince Humperdinck in the same room.
Yes. I feel like Lionel Baratheon would have I feel like he would try to mess with him all the time, but eventually they would have had sex or something or had a really good time fighting. I don't know. I think there'd be chemistry there because Ormond is committed to his lifestyle and he has the means to back it up with his little snifter of
Yeah, I had to look up what those were called, and it's a pomander.
Thank you.
Is the little sachet, the more permanent sachet of smelling salts or good smelling things, or
anything
I'm going
that
to
wasn't
guess
like
at some point in time
the smell
cocaine.
of, yeah. I think if you're not using a pomander for cocaine, you're not properly using your antique. But I didn't say that.
Yeah,
You didn't hear that from me. I encountered a lot of pomanders recently on a trip to the UK and Belgium, so I'm mad I didn't remember that. But yeah, mostly because it would smell. This is one of the first, or a really fun, tangible nuance of the time. People carried around pomanders because shit smelled terrible in these times. It was so bad, so bad. At least I'll bet you nobody likes the Red Keep under Alicent's regime because it's gloomy. I bet it's fucking clean. I bet it's clean.
What's the first thing she did as soon as Rhaenyra moved out? Bowl deep clean. Change the curtains.
Nobody complained. Nobody complained about that because they knew it was necessary. How did you feel about Ormond Hightower? What do you think about
I,
Ormond?
I didn't. I exactly like you. I didn't think we needed second Gawain, and what we got was everything we liked about Gawain, but more so.
Yeah. Yeah. Poor Gwaine. I hope Gwaine is okay. I'm gonna be sad. I feel like he probably didn't make it, but
Yeah,
he's doing his best. He's really
yeah.
doing his
He was
best.
there to ease us into Ormond.
It's our Ormond gateway drug. And I love that
Do
you
we
kind of
know? I'm sure we do, and I'm sure there's not. But do we know if there's a line between Ormond to Lionel Baratheon?
there should be.
There should be.
I really like the idea of Gawain being like the Simon Gawain and Castle and Simon Strong having a beer. I just really
Hmm.
want them to be in the upstairs downstairs.
Yeah, yeah. Like, I hope that the next spinoff we get, that's set sometime between now and Night of the Seven Kingdoms, is just Simon Strong and Gawain Hightower opening the inn that we see in episode 1. We get their little faulty tower sort of thing.
Oh my God. I just want them to be okay because I feel like they're doing their jobs. And I am always the most protective of people who are simply doing their jobs. One of my favorite moments, and we'll get there in the scene with Rhaenyra as she is losing her mind at her son and her Queensguard betrayal. Mysaria, it's one of the first times we see her truly at a loss. And it was a nice kind of marker of how bad this was in that Mysaria, who is always doing her job, which is to just help other people, is at a loss and doesn't know what to do. But yeah, Gawain does his
Yeah,
job, and it looks like
we'll
Ormond is.
talk about that shortly here. Next scene that or next not scene but cluster of scenes. We're moving to Team Black now, where we have seen that Daemon Targaryen has defeated Jason Lannister's forces and gained new allies, the Winter Wolves, the Northmen, the Old Northmen, led by Roderick Dustin, who delivers him Jason's severed head.
Yes, he motherfucking does. Because why are you gonna make an entrance when you can't make an entrance? Don't waste it. And I love how the attitude between the Targaryens and the Starks is like, how, like we fucking been here. The fuck have you been?
Mm.
Yeah, don't mind us still doing your job for you. It was nice to see Daemon Targaryen on equal ground a
Yeah.
little bit. R.I.P. Jason. He was number
I,
one. He was the first guy down.
who was his twin?
Thailand.
Thailand. Oh wait, yeah, duh. I forgot that they were twins.
Man overboard.
I'm excited to see that relationship grow.
I love that. I think the Winter Wolves just fully just walked. You need help? Yeah, here you go. Here's this guy's head. Fuck a Lannister. It's extremely metal. The Grey Wolves are extremely metal.
Absolutely.
Or the Winter Wolves. I forget what they're.
Winter Wolves. I think the
Winter.
Winter Wolves.
Yeah, and that's important to
Double
note
check.
is because they are defined by the fact that they're graybeards. These are meant to be, and it was I love this sort of nod to the North being, I don't know, a little bit more practically values driven and understanding that just because somebody is older does not mean they have outlived their utility. Maybe that actually makes them stronger and more valuable and extremely, I don't know, yeah, valuable.
Yeah.
Or
With
difficult
age
to
comes
defeat.
experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
Meanwhile, also on Team Black, we get what seems like a minor scene, which is just the three new dragon riders, Adam, Hugh, and Ulf, waiting to ambush Aemond at Harrenhal. But Alice River shows up and encourages them to leave. And I don't think it was stated in the episode, but it is absolutely clear that where they are is the Isle of Faces, which is in a lake just south of Harrenhal, I believe.
Yeah. It's in the God's Eye, which is south.
Yeah. and it is where book canon, the Children of the Forest and the First Men sign their truce. And so when we see the Green Man or Green Seers, I don't think we saw Three Eye Raven this time around, but then Alice Rivers shows up. That makes a lot of sense. And Adam, Adam of Hull does end up on this island at some point in the books as well. And it is a no one goes there, both because it's supposed to be sacred / cursed, but also because anytime someone sails there, at least according to legend, they get knocked off course or a bunch of ravens show up and keep them from landing. And so really you can only get there by dragon.
I don't know. It's heavy stuff on the Isle of Faces,
Yeah.
and I have in my notes. Ulf is also not wrong to.
Yeah.
Like he was just like, bless Hugh. I want a Hugh on my team, but Ulf is very smart to find out I don't need a fucking like. I don't need to be a knight. I need a house. Like, can I have
Yeah.
a house? Can you not? And
The,
I appreciate that it wasn't just like blind complaining because he deserved it. He was like, this is not practically gonna. He's realizing that they need him kind of more than he needs them in a way, or that
yeah.
he doesn't like the deal that he's getting.
Ulf is there trying to start a union.
Oh, show me the lie.
I liked this scene because last season we really only got to know these guys in a couple moments, and then uh, one or two scenes together, but they were always felt very much like archetypes.
Yeah.
We've got the noble smith, we've got basically the bard, and we've got the comparison of Adam and Alan. Of Adam both wants glory and wants to do what's right, but he also Dad walked out, but he's still he's not above trading on the name.
Like
Uh,
he's got. I liked that Adam was the privilege in all of us. Like Adam is. I don't know. He resonated with me a lot because I don't have a dog in this. I don't have a dog in this fight. I am Corlys Valerian's son, and I'm a dragon rider now. So it doesn't really. I'm fine. I'm good.
yeah,
Just doing this. But he's also. I think he stays out of. He's not like the. Ulf is in battle with himself because Ulf understands already that he's autonomous and he can do what he wants. That's why he keeps pushing these boundaries because he hasn't felt those feelings before. And I don't, and like Hugh can kind of hear this and just, I don't know. I think Hugh conversely has an understanding of maybe more than Ulf can see at this point of just like, we're all now pieces in a very scary game. And it's great that we're not in the place we were before with zero power, but just because we have this right now doesn't mean it's all going to be sunshine and roses. And it doesn't, and like, just because we have this power doesn't mean we understand everything, which is a very difficult position to be in. And it just goes to
yeah.
show why Rhaenyra's idea was great, but also perhaps a little rushed into and not as super thought out. Which,
Like we see in the next set of scenes we're going to discuss, great idea, needed a little more training. The onboarding process is what needs work.
I'm going, we're running up to the battle
Boat
of
joke.
the Gullet. Boat joke. There were so many decisions in this battle.
Yeah.
What did you think of? Oh, sorry, go on.
I want to, before we go into the battle, even though it's a little bit later, I want to talk about Jason Rhaenyra.
Oh, wait.
Um,
Can we talk about Alice Rivers real quick before?
oh, yeah.
Just
That's a dumb question.
She's one, her only, like, yeah, you should go. And they're like, why should we listen to you? And she's, I'm a witch. And it just
Witch.
comes with the full knowledge of somebody who's not a witch but understands exactly how much power that had. And I enjoyed her. I enjoyed that we got all of those things in that moment of her being like, I'm a witch, you fucking dummy. Can you just go? I'm busy. I'm already onto other things in my head. And that's
As soon as we started discussing Alice Rivers, my cat insisted that I start petting her. My black cat. Just saying.
Alice approves.
Yeah, I don't know how Alice Rivers is going to fit in enough for us to get her every episode again. But can we?
I want a wrestling character that is made after Alice Rivers. I know there's a couple that are goth, but I'm like, I feel like, man, I wish I knew how to do claymation and fast because I feel like we could have like Game of Thrones, like a Westerosi wrestling tournament and make it span all timelines. And Alice Rivers is a wrestler, and Melisandre is a wrestler, and
Extreme Deathmatch.
yeah, with Khal Drogo and Alice Rivers.
We're
I
talking as a
don't know.
tag team or against?
I don't know how it ends either way. Oh, maybe it's Melisandre Davos, Khal Drogo, and Alice Rivers. And I.
Before we get into the Battle of the Gullet, I want to specifically talk about Jace, Rhaenyra, and then Rhaenyra locked in her room. Like I kind of said leading into this episode, we just got to see Jace make bad decision after bad decision this episode.
It was like one big bad decision started the bad decision tree.
Yeah.
And
which is the premise of the show.
Basically, yes. Yeah, you're not wrong.
There was one specific scene with Rhaenyra, though, that kind of put me off to the entire episode to an extent.
Yeah.
But she did and I don't have the exact quote in front of me, but
the Queen Elizabeth. I have the heart of a king, Elizabeth. Even though I'm a weak and feeble woman. Yeah, I caught that too, and I was like, "What's the line?"
But that is so out of character. I think you got it dead on. But seems
I know I have the body of a weak and feeble woman, but I have the heart and stomach of a king.
And she just flipped it and cut stomach. But that did not fit Rhaenyra at all to me, because it would have been righteous anger and not righteous anger and internalized misogyny.
Yeah, it was Rhaenyra has lived with this so much her whole life. It felt like somebody wanted to be like, ooh, this is a great quote for Rhaenyra because she's really.
I don't think in context of Queen Elizabeth, it's internalized misogyny.
No, yeah.
I think it's recognition of truth, but that is not the truth. That is not really the truth that I feel like Rhaenyra has lived.
Oh.
Has she been undercut because she was a woman? Yes. Has she been treated as weak and feeble? No. Even Jace wasn't locking her up specifically because she was a woman. It was for the same reason that Kristen Cole didn't want Aegon going to Harrenhal not Harrenhal.
Rook's Rest.
Starts with a T.
Rook's Rest.
Rook's Rest. Didn't want it going to Rook's Rest last season because you are in chess the king, and you are the one piece we cannot lose.
And it's and there's just, again, like we come back to a theme in this, there's just no right choices. There's no choices. I'm doing Duolingo chess, and one of the reasons that I've never really moved forward in chess on my own is that I always stop short of, I always get stuck on moves that I'm like, I'll lose somebody. And you do kind of, at some point when you're playing chess, you need to be like, it becomes a strategy to figure out which pieces you can lose at the cost of what they can lose, and weighing those, and it's obvious there's a difference between chess and life, but it just seems very apparent. And I think this is what's just going to make this show a bit of a slog, is like, there's just no easy choices. There's just a bevy of bad choices. And what choice does Rhaenyra, do they abandon the Valyria? Do they abandon their fleet with this armada? No. Do her children, who are untested in this kind of battle, go in her place? Probably not. Is she in charge? Is this her responsibility? She set it in motion? Yeah. If she is killed, is that going to fuck everything big time? Yeah. What do you do? And
again, I don't know a lot about, and let's go into the battle next, because I think we could discuss this scene forever. I don't know a lot about the book, but I do know that in the book Battle of the Gullet, one of the reasons this is a easier decision, at least as far as do we back up the Valyrians, is it is also with the fleet are Viserys and Aegon of Team Black.
Yeah.
The youngest kids of Damon, youngest or only kids of Damon and Rhaenyra. And so that is one of the reasons that, okay, we have to send the bombers out, because
Yeah. Because
if this fleet is
yeah.
destroyed, we lose two heirs, and Rhaenyra loses two kids. And ultimately, Aegon, seeing the carnage that comes from Sheep Stealer, is one of the reasons that he ends up vehemently anti-dragon.
Yeah. It's pretty hard to not be anti-dragon after this episode a little bit, just because you see how deeply complicated this kind of element in otherwise pretty human battles and decision making and intellects and emotions can be very complicated. It's I it's interesting to me, this scene between Rhaenyra and Jace, just to back it up 1 second, but just the idea. I wish they hadn't put that line in there because it just felt really out of
Yeah.
place. But it did, because I think without painting that with a brush, we've never seen Rhaenyra this undone, this angry, this out of her mind. She tears up her leathers. Her handmaiden and Mysteria are just at a loss for what to do. It is such a deep betrayal to have her son and her queen's guard not take her orders and do what she has been terrified that people will do her entire life, which is not take her seriously, even though everyone has backed her up. And now these people who are closest to her have done this. And I don't know, that I felt that deeply, to just finally to be cobbling together power, but then see that it is so easily brushed aside just because they have, in part because they have penises. Like the
Yeah.
reason that Jace is able to convince the Queen's Guard not to lock him in, not to lock her in, and not to let her out is because he's a dude and eventually he'll be in power. And that's this game that Rhaenyra has been playing for a lot of her life, is that people are worried about her until they feel like they can do an end run around her. Nobody respects her top to bottom, not her husband, clearly not her son at this point, not her advisors. And it's that was to me also very tragic, just watching Rhaenyra rend her own clothing because of this and feeling the
Yeah.
point of that so deeply.
I agree with you both as a whole, and that I feel like the Queen Elizabeth quote undercut it.
Yeah, we love Queen Elizabeth though. She's pretty great. She probably had to make tough choices too.
One or two.
One or two.
Remember when she sent the dragons on the Spanish Armada?
My gosh, she would have fucking loved a dragon. Queen Elizabeth, man. She had her armor. It is somewhat definitive in friendship with me. If you have watched and loved the movie Elizabeth and retain even the smallest amount of resentment for Gwyneth Paltrow winning Best Actress that year for Shakespeare in Love over Kate Blanchett for Elizabeth, it's safe to say, I will safely say this right now. You could find me on the street and I would be friends with you. I think I can just, we care about the same things.
With that, half an hour in, let's get to the meat of the episode, which is the Battle of the Gullet. We have the Triarchy showing up to engage the Valyrian fleet at the Gullet in order to sack High Tide.
Yeah, the Valyrian fleet has been practicing a pretty effective blockade, and Tywin Lannister has gone over to the east side to get some buddies. She gets in these pirates led by Shirako Lohar, and her ship is called the Bitch Fist, which I appreciate, and also think a 12-year-old boy wrote, but stopped clock is right twice a day, many claps. And that's all of a sudden this is completely unexpected, which is why Rhaenyra is, we gotta go, and why Jace is like, not you, and why Corlys is like, let's go, and Shirako Lohar does what pirates do, which is whatever the fuck she wants, and regardless of what she's been paid to do, and breaks off from the fleet and is like, fuck you guys, I'm gonna get High Tide and Cloris Valerian, best of luck with your mission, see ya.
Yep. And so we have Jace and Bela, their dragons, out to help stop the Triarchy. Vermax initially becomes ensnared, but is freed by Moondancer. Corlys navigates a rocky pass with Lohar in pursuit. Lohar tosses Tyland overboard and rams into Corlys's ship, which breaks apart. Corlys falls overboard. Alan of Hull kills Lohar. Rhaena arrives on Sheep Stealer, who attacks
Everyone.
everyone, and in
It's a party. What am I? What are we doing?
yeah, yeah. I've never met other. I haven't played with other dragons before. This is a
We're bringing
blast.
stuff.
This
This
is
is
so much
great.
fun. I'm gonna. Hey, Moondancer, and in trying to defend Moondancer and Bela from Sheep Stealer, Vermax is shot by a scorpion bolt and drowns. He
Oh, it's so
loses
sad.
himself, but then gets arrowed 3 times and fade to black.
It's so sad. I don't know what I was expecting for I like the fact that I don't know, I think for ease I figured we weren't gonna get it was gonna be Shirako or Corliss in this thing. And she didn't wind up surviving. And I was impressed with the relationship and storyline that she and Thailand managed to put together. It was pretty
Yeah.
satisfying. Just from they built that well enough that when she betrays him and is like, "Bye, just kidding. I'm gonna do my own thing." And you're also looking extremely heavy. By the way, and it was a really good. I personally needed to see Corliss Valerian not be useless and annoying,
Yeah.
and he was
Yeah.
not. And he really
That that was so number one, seeing the immediate repair, or not even repair, development of at least a working relationship between Corliss and Alan, and B, seeing, like you said, Corliss be useful, even in the 10 years and 3 episodes we spent in season 1 at the Stepstones. We never saw Corliss in battle.
no.
We saw him under siege and saved by Daemon,
Mm.
but we never got to see him in battle, in command. And we saw that A, he knows how to command a fleet. B, he knows how to pilot a ship. C, he knows how to steer the ship better than anyone else there.
Good thing
Like
it's got a
he knows his
joystick.
boat.
It reminded me of
Uh,
Data in Insurrection, or no, not it was what's Nemesis, where the joystick legit comes out. I think it's Nemesis.
mhm.
They've got a joystick, and no, and I'm like still not that mad I'm probably less mad about that than I should be. I this
I
was
mean,
I
it
had a
makes more sense.
I want to drive with a joystick. It's so the idea that Corliss is this is the most comfortable I've seen him. This is where he's not grasping for power. He's not in a room full of people who kind of outrank him or people who he serve. He is a commander, and he makes very good strategic decisions, and he's not afraid to potentially put himself in danger to lead Shirako away, and it works, as well as that she's unfortunately very good at her job of being a pirate, which a lot of times involves mutually assured destruction. And you're willing to get crazy. I'm willing to get crazier. I'm a pirate. Anyway, I appreciated that she got she got a pretty good death. She dealt a blow that we thought for a minute would kill Corliss. And I would have been bummed about that because it was like, I would like to see more of this side of Corliss, more of somebody who's been like drained of his fucks and is now just here to be like, I am very good at this. And I hope that
Yeah.
he rises. I hope that he continues to be like an advisor, continues to stay in his position to Rhaenyra, which is one of great importance as an advisor.
Yes. This episode could have just been a Battle of the Bastards, and we could have spent 25 minutes navigating the Dragon's Teeth, and I would have been riveted the entire time. It was
I
like
was
watching Hunt for Red October.
Oh my god, it was so cool. I did not expect to be like that excited about it. And the entire time I was thinking about Below Deck and just I'm like, this is so stressful. Oh my god, it's the same. It's like they're in the Caribbean. It's a really tight slip. But he's got to keep his cool. It was one of the moments where I felt conscious of this is extremely dude bro tens across the board in the dude bro category. It's dude who's being chased and who's no, we're gonna go on one final run and I'm gonna do it. Very Tom Cruise and Maverick when they're playing
Yeah.
beach football. He's like, no, just so you guys know, I am still the king. It was a pleasure to watch.
You're absolutely right. Corliss Valerian would be played by Tom Cruise.
Show me the lie. Who disagrees? And he would have been ripped like Tom Cruise too.
I loved it. I loved every part, every moment we saw Corliss on screen. This
Yeah.
episode, I loved. You're not going to be surprised by any of my picks as we get to as we close things out. Spoilers.
Yeah, it was really the last time we saw dragons and ships was in Battle of the Bastards, and it was so cool when they were flying in formation, and this really upped the game on that. Not only seeing Bela and Vermax work together so beautifully, and seeing a dragon with precision flambe an entire ship, that was spectacular, even though it was, I believe, a Valyrian ship. And it was by Sheepstealer. Reyna, oh man, again, in the bad choice, in the bad decision tree. Reyna just, man, she was tired. She shouldn't have been driving. And
Yeah.
this is what happens when this is gun control. Gun control.
Someone did just leave Sheep Stealer out where a kid could find it.
This is, who's not going to take
Feel
responsibility
really
for
bad
that.
about that.
Mrs. Erie. Mrs. Erie is not going to, Mrs. Aaron is not going to take responsibility for that. She checked that off her list. I sent her, I told her where to go. I set up safe passage. Not on me if she decided to do her own thing. Chain of custody ends here at this gate, the splitty gate. Not me. It is, how did you feel about Lohar killing Thailand? Or do we, okay, so we can get to that, but like.
Yeah. This is going to be one of those nobody not dead situations for me, mostly because we already saw, like, I forgot that they were twins somehow, but we already saw a definitive Lannister death.
Really hoping when Roddy Dustin walked up that I'm like, he's holding it. Oh, let it be Jason. Let it be Jason. And it was Jason.
And we have canonically learned that Lannisters can swim in armor because of Game of Thrones season 5 or season 6.
That's true. Don't cut him out. Don't cut him out. They pulled this trick before. It's a red herring.
It's genetic.
This is why it works for the Lannisters to be Texas people in the metaphor of this, because I know Texas has a coastline, but they don't have this kind of coast. They don't have fight naval battles coastline. They're land people.
They've got a Gulf.
Yeah, let's golf. So with that, should we screw to the boards?
Yeah, yes, absolutely. Why don't you open us up with our dragon count, which has changed for the first time in...
It's so sad. We have a total dragon count moving from 14 to 13 with the death of Vermax. It is still a 10-3 spread, favoring Team Black over Team Green. That said, we like to keep in mind the fact that Ulf, Adam, and Hugh of Sea Smoke, Vermithor, and Silverwing, not in that order, are waffling. And so there's rumors of a great betrayal somewhere in the future. So it's... Also, I was listening to, I read the Vulture recap of this, and it pointed out that we're also getting to have a better understanding of like, all right, so Vhagar might be one dragon, but Vhagar's kind of it's not really, Vhagar is more than one dragon ultimately. Vhagar is probably two, and the fact, and yeah, Rhaenyra has dragons, but a lot of them are young. They have not been raised in captivity. They've been raised in captivity. They're not as big. Miller is there, but obviously a deeply uncontrollable element. And not off on the best foot with Moondancer, which will eventually be her colleague, or his. Sorry, Sheepstealer's a dude. My bad.
Yeah.
Not to misgender Sheepstealer. So that's where we're at with the dragon count. R.I.P.
Yeah. I believe we chose to cut the time past, and that has always been days.
Yep. Not long.
Recently.
Who did we get introduced to?
I'm going to let you lead because it is, you've been stoked about this one forever.
Oh, yes, Roddy the Ruin.
So, yep.
Roddy the Ruin.
And we've discussed exactly how we met him.
Yep.
And exactly why. We also, for the first time, met Alicent Black, who...
She's got great eye makeup.
Got great eye makeup, and is going to be someone that we... two of these folks, I don't even know that we met by name, but we know who they are via casting, and we know that they are going to be of import sooner rather than later for the most part.
Yep. We also
her
met
and John Roxton.
Yes.
Who I don't even know if John Roxton had a line. I think he had basically the message for you, sir, with Ormond Hightower, who again
we met.
Yeah, we met, and our feelings on this gentleman are known.
Yes, they are. It was a sexy episode a little bit. Bela and Jace
Yeah.
had a rock star romance moment together, which ended tragically, which is for any love story definitely keeps it
Yeah.
interesting.
But also, anytime we see an established couple get moments on this show,
Yeah. Romance based Bela and Jace. And then
yeah.
also
I'm not gonna go. I'm gonna skip to note 3 on this one, and
Sent and
then we can go
Ament.
back. Oh, first. I just want to briefly touch on the meet cute we had between Raina and
Neat.
Sheep Stealer. Again, I discussed it before.
Neat.
Meet that was great. Seemed like
Was
Sheep Stealer was going to be was going to be Heart Stealer,
Yes. Yes.
and then, but
Nice.
I love that little moment.
Yeah, it was. I loved it. I think in part I said this before because Raina finally got something else to do. I hope that she has. I don't know. I hope something. I think Raina has a pretty good. I don't think her ending is super tragic in the
Uh,
books, but I'm like I cannot have her for another season being like very sad that she's not good enough.
yeah.
Which I realize this is maybe not the best starting point for that. So I'm managing my own expectations, but
Internet talk is that she's being. We're going to see her combined with
Nettles.
Damon's. Yeah, with Nettles, Damon's bastard daughter, which doesn't mean that things end up necessarily. I
We'll
don't know
see.
Nettles well enough to say 100% actually, or at least not at this moment.
Nettles is cool.
Brain is full. And we had, and again, we touched on it, Eamon and Allison.
Oh man, I think it's gonna go further. I don't want it to, but can you imagine if Kristen Cole's coming home and now?
Oh,
I like I
he's finally
can you okay
finally
like
washing off the eyeliner.
what if Kristen Cole comes home at the same time as Allison as Rhaenyra comes to King's Landing and Allison is just in bed with Aemon because it's just gotten that bad and she's dissociating but she's still staying strong and keeping it for England. You know what I mean? Thinking of England. And Kristen Cole
Kristen
gets in
Cole
there
comes back with Otto.
with Otto, and then Rhaenyra's in the room, and they're all like, "Wait, what?" And Rhaenyra's, "Wait, Kristen, what are you doing? What? What?
What are you
What?
doing
What
here?
are you doing here? Oh my God, it's the Targaryens." Please, I want a family reunion again. I want there to be somehow some kind of ham-handled moment where everybody's in the same room and they gotta talk about what's happened.
I think that at this point in time, though, a family reunion episode would be too risque for HBO.
Oh my God. Yeah, it is. I will say that less Cersei and Jamie, who are now looking at the paragon of romantic incest in fantasy, this is success. Just compared
Yeah.
to that, Allison and Aemond, I don't think they stand a chance.
Not
I
with
don't
that attitude.
Oh my God, it was so gross. Poor Allison. And we did
Yeah.
this was a pretty impressive death list.
Yeah,
We
well,
got.
we didn't have any in the finale, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it was a pretty thin season for deaths in season 2 to begin with, I would say. That this was, man, they caught right up. There's 4 people in
Yep.
episode 1 alone. The
4
dragon.
to 5.
Yeah, I don't know. Also, yeah, like we said, Thailand might be alive just because that seemed like a lame death, and he is
It
not
was
in
too
the battle.
funny.
Yeah, like it was a little like, oh wait, that's it, just because he weren't. Oh man, that would have been a good Jason death. If that was Jason's death,
Yeah.
I would have been like, absolutely, thank you. You bought and paid for that. I feel like Thailand has earned a
Well,
little bit more.
yeah, we got Thailand getting crapped on and then actually proving his worth pretty heavily in the season finale. So having it basically be the same joke, that'd be a bummer.
Yeah, yeah.
Man, why am I feeling so? My cat is chewing the microphone.
She's doing
Um,
such a good job.
why am I being so torn up about a Lannister death?
Oh, because they feel like they had good intentions.
Yeah, these are the best Lannisters we've met.
Yeah, the bar
Other
is
than
not
Tyrion.
high, but
Yeah.
should we move on to our wrap-up segments or just to
Yeah.
our awards? Who's winning awards this week?
So we had it in the end of our recap. Yeah, we had one question, and that is, where is Otto?
Where is Otto?
Because we know he's coming back.
We know he's coming somewhere. He's in a carriage, and it doesn't look like it's a friendly carriage. Or he's traveling incognito, and someone has been like, we're going to make this happen for you, and you don't know where you're going because then you, whatever. I don't know. I don't know.
He's
Where
in the
could he
cash
be?
cab.
Because I'm wondering, like, where else would his story be relevant? He's probably not going to end up at Harrenhal. We know that Duskendale is a location that is important. I wonder if maybe he's with the same people that Laris and Aegon wind up with, and we just haven't seen him yet. It seemed like similar accommodations.
That could be. But yeah, with that, who do you think could have fixed things this episode?
For herself, Shirako Lohar maybe could have just concentrated on
Could
destroying
have
the
taken it to a
blockade.
6 instead of a 10.
I fair. I know. I feel bad. I feel bad saying, but oh man, this is.
But she was also great.
She was also great. Yeah, I feel like she. I feel like she's a big reason why the whole like why they weren't able to break the blockade. And but yeah,
I
how about
think
you?
that both Rhaenyra and Rhaena could have done things a little bit differently. I don't think Rhaenyra was clear enough about the, oh wait, Alicent and I have an arrangement. I know she brought it up last episode, but it could have been a, hey, we can, this is why we're sending all of our dragons up north, but also why it's probably okay for all three of us to go to the gullet,
Yeah,
which would have probably made things a little bit differently. And then on Rhaena, just go home.
dude, go to bed. Go to
Yeah.
sleep. Go to bed.
Would it have ended up differently? We don't know. Would it have been your fault? Absolutely not. Who would you say, though, slayed this episode?
Who slayed this episode? I asked somebody. Um, I am gonna give it to Roddy the Ruin because what a fucking entrance.
Absolutely. I can support you on that, but I already warned you where I was going with this, and it is 100% Corlys Valerian.
Captain Corlys
Uh,
Valerian.
yep, Admiral, Captain,
Oh yeah, that's right.
Dad,
Yeah, more than one ship. How did he? How did he?
or
How
maybe
does he
Commodore.
spell-
Commodore or Admiral. Your ships, Hand of the Queen.
Mastered that ship. Mastered that ship.
Absolutely. Best parallel, like we now know that he can parallel park.
Yep.
What about who got cut?
Who got cut? Rhaenyra.
Yeah, yeah. I'll
Just like literally, like, ugh. It's
yeah.
just not the best week for her.
Also, I didn't really think about it until I was trying to plan for this episode, which is new ones, for being the queen and being such a driving force. Last season, she left Dragonstone twice, once to go to Harrenhal and once to go to Alicent. And other than that, she was basically in the same position of getting sidelined.
Yeah, it always feels like it's all in the soup of Rhaenyra being brave enough and purposeful enough to carry this and to be a good enough ruler that people respond to her and they follow her. But it's also weighted against her lack of experience and her naivete and her idealism and her incredibly privileged upbringing that keeps her out of step with reality in the way that a lot of other people see it. And it's just everything that is her strength is also her downfall. And it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to see because it's, especially just as a female, it's just, it, you vacillate so much between, okay, what should I do versus what makes sense to do and what is practical to do. And Rhaenyra tries so hard to make the correct decisions, and I think she doesn't quite. I don't think she's at the point where she's accepted that she won't always do that, and I don't know. I don't think that she has accepted how small. I think it's chicken. I don't think she's accepted how small she is in the vastness of the universe and all of these pieces that are moving around her. I think she still believes she has control, and she doesn't.
I think that she also saw Viserys being a very different king, even when he wasn't really ruling because he was a bed. He had the privilege of always ruling from the Red Keep. When there was turmoil, it was not rebellion, or not to this extent. It
Yeah.
was the battles and the stepstones.
Didn't have
Uh,
to worry about his public image as much.
yeah, yeah, and so I think that, and I might be putting thoughts in the character's head here, but I think that her ruling from Dragonstone was both, while she has Daemon to be her battle commander, and also, well, the king sits the throne. The decisions come to me.
Yeah.
I Rhaenyra was going to be mine, but as a second choice, I'm going to say Rhaena.
Yeah, I can't imagine a worse day for Reyna.
Like, if she'd shown up 45 minutes earlier, she would have just been at Dragonstone.
Or not been, or just had some of her shit together. Like, it feels like
Mm-hmm.
Baela's had her shit together since day one, and Reyna's just been out here. Like, not that I don't have a
This is
tremendous amount
not
of
what you
empathy for
do with a
that.
learner's permit.
No.
But she started out like so high,
I
and
just,
that's
yeah.
part of why that was my choice. You're not going to be surprised by my MVP, my most valuable parent.
Who's your most valuable parent?
It is Corlys Valerian.
He does do a really good job this week.
He does. He finally is. Maybe because he gets to do it in his comfort zone of a ship at battle. But he finally is a strong father to Alan, and they develop their working relationship, and it is
Yeah.
excellent.
Yeah, it was really
And
pleasing to watch because I didn't know how Corlys Valerian was going to come out of the hole that Alan dug him into when he very correctly read him for filth on his own ship or on the dock of his own ship. And I was glad that they could both have that emotional moment and have that truth said between them and still be able to move past that and come to an accord because ultimately that's what this job and life demands of them, and it seems like they find community with each other and their ability to both do what is necessary and do what must be done and put whatever feelings they have aside in getting the job done. Yeah, blah blah blah. Yeah, it was. Do you think
uh,
that that Alan would have fought so hard for Corlys had they not had that conversation?
no,
Yeah, I'm kind of
um,
with you. With Scirocco, I kind of mean, but because we spend some time
yeah,
on that fight scene.
I think he would have. I think he would have fought as hard, but I don't know that he would have taken those last moments with the same intensity, even if he was still the victor, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems everybody's just doing a lot of emotional processing all the time on the show, and I don't know, I'm proud of Alan for being able to work through the pain.
Speaking of working through the pain, we have a new segment that we kind of wanted to introduce this episode, as
Oh
we think
wait,
it's going to be.
I have to do my most valuable parent.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. It was Laris because he was prepared to turn this car around. And Aegon, he counted to one, two, three, and Aegon did what Aegon was going to do. And so Laris put his foot down and took, I don't know, it reminded me of that episode of Friends when Phoebe pretends that when Rachel's pregnant and they're getting a pregnancy test and Phoebe tells her that it's a no and Rachel gets upset and Phoebe was like, just kidding, it was a yes. I now you know how you really feel about it. And Rachel's like, well, that's a risky little game. I felt like this was a pretty risky little game, and we talked about that up top, but I still thought without Laris, Aegon would have died in that situation, one way or the other.
Yeah,
And they would have
He
found the
would have
crime
died in
after.
King's Landing,
Yes. Yes, he would have.
or would have died in Dragonstone.
Yep. Oh, well, he's not so smart, Aemon or
Yeah,
Aegon.
yeah. And Aemond has. A- Aemond is smart.
Aemon is smart. He is smart. He's a lot of other things too,
Yeah.
like in love with his mom.
He's not the smart kid that got the a pleasure to have in class.
He's the smart kid who dated Mary Kay Letourneau.
Yeah.
Made a summer romance. Speaking of, who's your queen of love
Um,
and beauty?
so I can't give it to Corliss once again. Oh wait, it's my show. Yes, I can. Corliss Valerian, hands down. We make
He
the
just
rules.
licked his finger and did it on his own bet just for you because he agreed. He agreed. Corliss could slang some cane. I believe this.
Yeah,
'Cause how does a drag? Yeah, like I feel like when a dragon princess picks you, it's not just because you have a boat.
right.
She's like, bitch, my boats have boats.
What about for you?
My queen of love, the bitch fist. That
Your
ship,
boat.
my the bitch fist is my queen of love and beauty because nobody had to go that nobody asked that boat to go that hard, but that boat, what else could it do? Somebody's gonna have that as a tattoo at Comic-Con this year. $5.
Is the bitch fist?
Someone.
Uh, while we're on that subject, before we go to our new last thing, I didn't make this joke in our finale episode a couple weeks ago, but it's bad luck to rename a boat.
Rename. Oh man. Oh man.
And they renamed the boat last
They renamed
episode,
the boat.
and then it met the bitch fist.
Then it met the plow. The bitch fist plowed the queen that never was. It's just flawless execution on all parts. Everyone really did their best. It's a difficult decision
Yeah.
at the end. Thank you, Shirako Lohar.
This could have been and maybe it would have been a little closer to a Battle of the Bastards. We just get one thing this episode, and I would have been happy with it.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't have been a good premiere.
No. And I'm also not really bothering about what we were talking about in our hot takes episode, which I really want to keep doing the bro takes. That was really fun. But it's just that this is this you can fit this series to a structure as much as you want to, but I don't know, the way this is written does not fit a traditional television series structure. And I think they're doing the best they can with a plot and characters that move with wicked speed and with increasing complexity and casts that get bigger and heavier that you have to meander through and make sure that you keep all these relationships intact and trying to be like, oh, I feel like we could all harp on, yeah, this definitely had the feeling of a season finale or an episode 9. It's not, it's the premiere. And we're just going to have to join the ride and not piddle too much about forms that Game of Thrones invented in and of itself. This show's it's going to be a little bit of an emotional mess. I am prepared for that.
Yeah. We met Shirako Lohar last episode.
2 years ago.
2 years ago. And 1 hour and 20 minutes of television ago.
Yep.
Like she got she got a lot of screen time this episode, so she got maybe 35 minutes of screen time.
Including
ever.
the mud wrestling,
including the mud wrestling, which also probably gave us Lionel Baratheon.
I believe it.
And that's all. And it was still a vendetta and a death that had weight in a way
earned.
that Euron Greyjoy, who we got a season with, 2 seasons with?
2 seasons and a lot of guy liner.
2 seasons with. Yeah. And JD Vance's makeup budget.
Man.
And
And then he gets
more
like,
impactful of a character.
yeah, also in terms of character death, Euron great. Don't get me wrong, I love Jaime Lannister. I thought Euron deserved a little bit better than to be like killed while he was sitting down by Jaime Lannister, who was like on his way somewhere else. It was just like
Yeah.
we could quibble. But yeah, that's a really good observation. I continue to marvel at the relationship building in this show and what they use and the efficiency with which they are able to connect these people who are torn asunder more or less, who are ripped away from us an hour and a half later, and it's still not a movie, it's still a television. I don't know, it's hats off. Thank you. Shraka Lohar made a
Yeah.
splash.
We never saw her with Corlys until they were fighting.
Yeah, and you get it, and like she,
And
yeah,
it had weight. Her vendetta had weight.
and at the same
So
time, it also
kudos.
like, and the fact, and her promise had weight. Her promise to Thailand had weight, and it made sense that she's a pirate, and she was. Oh, none of this was. It didn't feel too fast because they've laid her out as somebody who does what she wants when she wants, and the world is more or less her oyster, and she's got all the power in the situation, and she'll use it to her advantage. It all just made sense.
I hope we get to see a scene with her widows, but I somehow doubt it.
Oh, man, what if he just swims back to Pentos?
Listen,
Just go home. Just go home.
Shirako had a dying wish.
Yes. I'm a man of honor. I have a castle, and I'm here to help. You guys, we've been putting money in the Iron Bank for decades. You guys want to go to dinner? And now, folks.
Let me tell you about the reigns of Casimir.
Oh, yeah. It's a
Yeah, you like glory. Let me tell you about my family glory. No, I wasn't there.
And finally, folks, for our last bit of the episode, a new segment that we are implementing to get ahead of a lot of the emotional processing that we believe watching this show is going to force us to do, because it doesn't get better. And so we wanted to dedicate a little time each episode to just really grieve, really emotionally process something the episode that really broke our heart, or a loss that was felt quite keenly, so we can keep those processing centers ready for the waters ahead. And we are calling this section, what are we calling it, Johnny?
Casa Dolor. I said, because he's mopey.
Or like Casa Amor on Love Island. Worlds collide. I will feed you in a minute, my friend. So what would...
For me, and surprised to go with this one, but for me it's Vermax. The death of Vermax affected me more than the death of Jace. Partly, I think it's a sound design thing, and the cries of the dragon were very touching. And partly, I think it's because Vernax didn't get a joke, or didn't get a vote. Like, he was just there doing his job. And then the bad dog from across the street showed up. And so he did what he had to do.
Yeah. It was...
Cheap Seal's not a bad dog. He's an untrained dog.
Yeah. I think mine is quite similar. I mentioned the Rhaenyra stuff, but what really hit, I believe, it was really the 1-2 punch. I think what made Jace's death kind of this perfect thing, because it really was the preface of it with Vermax, and the slow realization in real time of Jace understanding what is happening as Vermax drowns with him on top of him. It was so Neverending Story coded, which just slammed me. I haven't even really watched the Neverending Story. I think I saw it once and was like, this is too fucking sad, with your dead mom and your horse. And no, all respect to, sorry about that, but it really, and then to see Jace and then to have that extra beat of Jace surviving and getting up and coming to and realizing, oh, I'm not safe. And then seeing this poor kid it was so Robb Stark echoed. Oh, I mourned this poor kid. Oh, he did not ask for any of this. And poor Vermax and poor Bela and Moondancer trying to save him. And it felt like, honestly, this shit felt like the Strait of Hormuz. It really felt like Trump is Sheep Stealer and the Strait of Hormuz is the gullet and nobody gained anything and it's just shittier than it was before.
Yeah.
I feel better.
Yeah, me too.
I validate your feelings. We bid you good night, sweet prince.
And on that uplifting note, because this is really the proper mood to be going into season 3, episode 2 of House of the Dragon, as yet untitled, or at least to us. But with that, we'll be back with more. We'll do our hot takes again with Medsteros and Dr. Greg Winter on Sunday, the 20th of June, and be back with another deep dive later in the week.
Yep, Johnny speaks the truth. We will try to be live and online somewhere, but if you want to see us on TikTok, go ahead and give us a follow at got thrones, or on Instagram at got thrones, or you can peep us on YouTube at got thrones podcast. We will see you next week,
Folks.